Problem number 39. We need to evaluate this limit, these limits here. When we plug in x is equal to 4, we're going to get square root 12 minus square root 12 is 0 upstairs, over 4 minus 4 is 0 downstairs, 0 over 0. Let's manipulate. Let's multiply by the conjugate of this expression. Let's multiply through by this. Okay, so what do we do here? When we expand out this multiplication, we get limit as x goes to 4 of x square root of x squared minus 4 times square root of x squared minus 4 is x squared minus 4. This times this minus this times this, those cancel out. Minus square root 12 times plus square root 12 is minus 12. All of this over x minus 4 times square root of x squared minus 4 plus square root 12. Okay, x squared minus 4 minus 12. This is x squared minus 16. X squared minus 16's factors is x minus 4 times x plus 4. And this is what we end up with. So those cancel. This is great. This is really great because now all we have to do is plug in 4 into the resulting thing. We aren't dividing by 0 anymore. And so we end up with 4 plus 4 over square root of 16 minus 4 plus square root 12, so 8 over 2 square root 12. And that simplifies a bit, but we'll say this is a good final answer. Okay, part B here, the limit as x goes to 1 of absolute value x minus 1 over x 3x minus 3. This is actually, I'm going to do something I don't usually do. I'm going to give you the answer first and then show you how to get that. This is going to not exist. How do we see that this does not exist? Well, x minus 1, the absolute value of this, is going to equal either x minus 1 or the negative x minus 1, which is 1 minus x. It's x minus 1 if x is greater than or equal to 1. It's equal to 1 minus x, the negative of this, if x is less than 1. So when we compute the two one-sided limits, the limit as x goes to 1 from the left of absolute value x minus 1 over 3x minus 3 factors as 3 times x minus 1. What do we get here? Limit as x goes to 1 from the left of, this is x is less than 1, so we choose 1 minus x, which is negative x minus 1 here, over 3 times x minus 1. Those factors cancel, and you should see you can get negative 1/3 then. However, if instead we do the limit as x goes to 1 from the right of absolute value x minus 1 over 3 times x minus 1, what do we end up with here? We replace x minus 1, absolute value x minus 1, with just x minus 1. Those factors cancel, and you should see we just end up with 1/3. So these two limits, the one-side limits, do not agree with each other, and so we conclude that the overall limit does not exist. Finally, the limit as x goes to 0 of tangent of 3x over sine of 7x. So the thing to do here is that we need to recall the following facts. Fact number 1 is that tangent of 3x is sine of 3x over cosine of 3x. Fact number 2 is the limit as x goes to 0 of sine of 3x over 3x is equal to 1. Fact number 3 is the limit as x goes to 0 of 7x over sine of 7x is also equal to 1. The limit as x goes to 0 of something times x over sine of that same thing here is always going to equal 1, and that works whether it's the 7x over the sine of 7x or flipped like this. And then, so let's use these facts here, because I'm going to rewrite this as limit as x goes to 0. Tangent is sine of 3x over cosine of 3x times sine of 7x downstairs. And I'm going to write this as the limit as x goes to 0 of sine of 3x over 3x times 7x over sine of 7x times 3/7 times cos 1 over cosine of 3x. So my assertion is that this is equal to this. Let's see why. So sine of 3x, sine of 3x, those are there. Sine of 7x and sine of 7x in the denominator, that checks out. Cosine 3x, cosine 3x, both in the denominator, those check out. We have x, I threw in the x in the numerator and I threw in the x in the denominator, so those cancel out. Threw in the x in the numerator, x in the denominator, those cancel. X in the denominator, x in the numerator, those cancel. So these expressions are equal. And why did I do this? By the product law for limits, I can do this. By the product law for limits, I can do this. And so what do we have here? I already told you before that this limit here is 1. I already told you here that this limit here is going to be 1. And as x goes to 0, cosine of 3x, that gets close to 1. Cosine of 0 is 1. So this is just 3 over 7 times 1. So our answer here is 3 over 7.